Let's talk about the 5 reasons to get bankrupted by chain stores. Number 1 is you do not look at the paperwork. When you are working with a chain store and say Bed Bath & Beyond loves your product, the one thing that they're going to do is give you some paperwork to review. They're going to give you a purchase order. They're also going to give you some additional content about what that looks like to work with them. The reason I mention this is because when you are looking at working with them, they're actually going to give you a whole outline of what matters to them, including shipping, deliverability, all sorts of things. And the problem with people is they get so excited about the prospects of working with that chain store, they don't read the fine lines. And then when the deal goes through and they start selling to them, all of a sudden they're not making any money, and they lost a ton of money because they didn't read the fine print, which was possibly that you're going to get charged back if you don't ship correctly, or possibly if you are working with them and something happened and the product didn't sell. There's a lot of differing reasons why people get in trouble, because they don't read the fine print and they don't think it through. The second thing is you sold way too much product to that retailer initially without making sure that you are comfortable. What that means is sometimes a buyer will come to you and say, I want to buy a ton of units of your product. The problem with that is if you are just starting out with them, you have to think about this as a relationship. And the relationship is this: I don't know if your audience is going to buy my stuff too. And not that I'm asking you to say this to the buyer, I'm asking you to think this through. If a buyer is interested in your product and suddenly wanting 50,000 units of your product because they believe it's going to succeed, what happens if it doesn't? You have to look at what that looks like for you. Can you afford selling them that much quantity? If not, there are strategies and workarounds to that, and how to convince the buyer to buy less quantity initially and build that business. You are fully in control of this relationship with that retailer, is what I'm saying. And a lot of times people get in over their heads because they just want to please the buyer. People pleasing is a bad idea when it comes to your bank account, because at the end of the day, it's your business and your life. The next reason people go bankrupt is that they are working with this retailer and they get really ahead of themselves. They feel really good, the product's selling, they're making a ton of money, and then all of a sudden something happens and it doesn't sell anymore, and they just got overzealous. You always got to be careful with these orders and really make sure that you always have, your bases covered. There's ways to work around that.